Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, your mind racing with worries, while your stomach churns with unease? What if the key to calming your anxiety wasn't just in your brain, but in your gut? Emerging research reveals a fascinating connection between the trillions of microbes living in your digestive system and your mental health. This groundbreaking science suggests that probiotics, those beneficial bacteria found in yogurt, supplements, and fermented foods, might hold the power to ease anxiety and restore emotional balance. But how does this gut-brain connection work, and can something as simple as a probiotic really make a difference? Let's dive into the science behind this revolutionary idea and explore whether your gut could be the missing link to better mental health. The human body is a complex ecosystem where biological systems interact in ways that continue to astonize researchers. Among the most groundbreaking discoveries of the 21st century is the profound connection between the gut and the brain, a relationship that challenges traditional boundaries between physical and mental health. Central to this paradigm shift is the role of the gut microbiota, the trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi residing in the gastrointestinal tract, and its potential influence on anxiety, depression, and other mental health disorders. The idea that consuming probiotics, live microorganisms conferring health benefits, might alleviate anxiety by modulating gut-brain communication has transitioned from fringe theory to a legitimate field of scientific inquiry. This passage examines the evidence behind probiotics as a tool for mental wellness, interrogating the mechanisms, clinical data, and unresolved questions in this rapidly evolving domain. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, I highly encourage you to click that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you can stay informed about all our latest content. Your support means the world to us. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help us spread our message further. I'm particularly eager to hear your thoughts on the topic we're covering today. If you find the content enjoyable and relevant, please comment with a 1 below to let us know. Conversely, if it doesn't resonate with you, feel free to leave a 0. Your feedback is incredibly important as it guides me in creating better videos that align with your interests. Now, let's dive right in. The gut-brain axis, a bidirectional communication network linking the enteric nervous system, ENS, of the gut with the central nervous system, CNS, has become a focal point for understanding how visceral health impacts emotional states. Historically, the gut was considered a mere digestive organ, but advances in neurogastroenterology have revealed its role as its second brain, capable of producing neurotransmitters like serotonin, dopamine, and gamma-aminobutyric acid, GABA, chemicals long associated with mood regulation. In fact, approximately 90% of the body's serotonin, a neurotransmitter critical for feelings of well-being, is synthesized in the gut by enterochromaffin cells and specific microbial species. This biochemical interplay suggests that disruptions in gut microbiota composition, termed dysbiosis, could theoretically contribute to mental health disorders. Epidemiological studies support this hypothesis. Individuals with irritable bowel syndrome, IBS, a condition marked by gut dysbiosis, exhibit anxiety and depression rates 3 times higher than the general population. Similarly, rodent experiments demonstrate that germ-free mice, raised without gut microbiota, display exaggerated stress responses and social avoidance behaviors, which normalize after transplantation with healthy microbiota. These findings underpin the concept of the microbiota-gut-brain axis, a framework for understanding how gut microbes might influence mental health through immune, neural, and metabolic pathways. Probiotics, often termed psychobiotics when targeting mental health, are hypothesized to restore microbial balance and mitigate anxiety by interacting with this axis. The most studied strains include Lactobacillus, e.g., L. rhamnosus, L. helveticus, and Bifidobacterium, e.g., B. blongum, B. infantis, which produce metabolites like short-chain fatty acids, SCFAs, and neurotransmitters that may directly or indirectly modulate brain function. For instance, Lactobacillus species convert glutamate into GABA, the brain's primary inhibitory neurotransmitter, which dampens neural excitability and anxiety. Bifidobacterium species, meanwhile, ferment dietary fiber into acetate and butyrate, SCFAs that strengthen the intestinal barrier, reduce systemic inflammation, and cross the blood-brain barrier to influence microglial function. Animal studies provide compelling preliminary evidence, A 2023 study in Nature Mental Health found that mice fed L-rhamnosus JB1 for 4 weeks showed reduced anxiety-like behaviors in maze tests, alongside increased hippocampal BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a protein essential for neuronal resilience. These effects were abolished in vagotomized mice, implicating the vagus nerve, a critical gut-brain neural pathway, in mediating probiotic benefits. Human trials, though less definitive, echo these findings. A 2022 double-blind, placebo-controlled trial published in Translational Psychiatry randomized 120 adults with generalized anxiety disorder, GAD, to receive either a multi-strain probiotic, containing L. helveticus and B. longum, or placebo for 12 weeks. The probiotic group reported a 35% reduction in anxiety scores on the Hamilton Anxiety Rating Scale, HAM-A, compared to 18% in the placebo group, with parallel improvements in sleep quality and cortisol levels. Neuroimaging revealed increased functional connectivity in the prefrontal cortex, a region governing emotional regulation. However, not all studies are positive. A 2021 meta-analysis in Neuroscience and Biobehavioral Reviews concluded that while probiotics show modest efficacy for anxiety, effects are strain-specific and often contingent on baseline gut health, suggesting a one-size-fits-all approach may be inadequate. The mechanisms by which probiotics influence anxiety are multifaceted, involving immunological, endocrine, and neural pathways. One key route is the attenuation of systemic inflammation, a well-documented contributor to anxiety and depression. Dysbiosis can compromise intestinal barrier integrity, permitting bacterial lipopolysaccharides, LPS, to enter circulation and trigger a pro-inflammatory cytokine cascade. Elevated cytokines like IL-6 and TNF-alpha activate the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, HPA, axis, increasing cortisol production and perpetuating a vicious cycle of stress and inflammation. Probiotics like Bifidobacterium infantis have been shown to reduce plasma LPS levels and normalize IL-10, an anti-inflammatory cytokine, in patients with chronic fatigue syndrome, a condition comorbid with anxiety. Another pathway involves the production of neuroactive metabolites. For example, Lactobacillus reuteri synthesizes histamine, which binds to H2 receptors in the enteric nervous system, stimulating vagal afferents that project to the brainstem and limbic system. This interaction may explain why probiotic interventions improve emotional processing in fMRI studies, particularly in regions like the amygdala and insula. Additionally, gut microbes metabolize dietary precursors into mood-regulating compounds. Tryptophan, an amino acid found in turkey, eggs, and nuts, is converted by Bifidobacterium species into indole derivatives that activate aryl hydrocarbon receptors, AHR, modulating serotonin synthesis and reducing anxiety-like behaviors in rodents. However, this process competes with the kynurenine pathway, which diverts tryptophan toward neurotoxic metabolites under inflammatory conditions. Probiotics may thus act as metabolic gatekeepers, shifting tryptophan flux toward beneficial indoles rather than kynurenine, a hypothesis supported by a 2023 Cell Report study showing that L-plant arum supplementation increased plasma indole levels and reduced anxiety in patients with metabolic syndrome. If you're still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know you're still engaged with the content. Despite promising mechanistic and clinical data, the probiotic anxiety link remains fraught with controversies and limitations. A significant issue is the heterogeneity of probiotic formulations, which vary widely in strain composition, dosage, and viability. Commercially available products often lack rigorous quality control, with studies revealing discrepancies between labeled and actual microbial content. For instance, a 2020 investigation by Consumer Lab found that 30% of probiotic supplements contain fewer live organisms than advertised, and some were contaminated with opportunistic pathogens like Enterococcus faecium. Regulatory oversight remains lax in many countries, allowing companies to market products with unsubstantiated mental health claims. Furthermore, the transient colonization of probiotics poses challenges. Most strains do not permanently integrate into the gut microbiota, necessitating ongoing supplementation. This raises questions about long-term efficacy and safety, particularly in immunocompromised populations. Case reports link probiotic use to bacteremia and fungemia in critically ill patients, though such events are rare. Another critique is the over-reliance on rodent models, which cannot fully replicate human gut-brain physiology. Mice possess a cecum-dominated gut structure and distinct microbial communities, limiting the translatability of findings. Human studies, meanwhile, often suffer from small sample sizes, short durations, and placebo effects amplified by the subjective nature of anxiety assessments. A 2021 trial in JAMA Pediatrics found no significant difference in anxiety symptoms between adolescents receiving L-rhamnosus GG and placebo, highlighting the role of developmental stages in probiotic efficacy. Critics also argue that the field's commercial hype outstrips the evidence, with overstated headlines overshadowing nuanced findings. For example, while certain strains may benefit individuals with IBS-related anxiety, they may prove inert in healthy populations or those with trauma-induced anxiety disorders. This underscores the need for personalized approaches, integrating microbiome sequencing, metabolomics, and clinical phenotyping to identify responders. Beyond probiotics, prebiotics, dietary fibers that feed beneficial bacteria, and symbiotics, probiotic-prebiotic combinations, are emerging as adjunct tools for mental health. Prebiotics like galactoligosaccharides, GOS, and resistant starch selectively stimulate Bifidobacterium and Lactobacillus growth, amplifying probiotic effects. A 2019 study in psychopharmacology reported that healthy adults consuming GOS for 3 weeks exhibited reduced attentional vigilance to negative stimuli, a cognitive marker of anxiety, alongside increased fecal Bifidobacterium levels. Fermented foods, such as kimchi, kefir, and miso, represent another avenue, offering diverse microbial communities and bioactive peptides that may synergize with probiotics. However, dietary interventions are complicated by individual variability in microbiome composition, shaped by genetics, diet, antibiotics, and environmental exposures. A vegetarian, for instance, may host more Prevotella species capable of fermenting plant fibers into anti-inflammatory SCFAs, whereas a high-fat diet promotes bile-tolerant microbes like Bilophila, associated with gut barrier dysfunction. This variability necessitates a precision nutrition framework, where probiotic recommendations are tailored to an individual's microbial signature and metabolic profile. Advances in artificial intelligence and machine learning are beginning to enable such personalization, with algorithms predicting probiotic responses based on baseline microbiota data. The clinical implications of probiotics for anxiety are profound, particularly in contexts where conventional therapies fall short. Selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, SSRIs, the first-line pharmacological treatment for anxiety, fail to achieve remission in 30 to 50% of patients and carry side effects like weight gain and sexual dysfunction. Psychotherapy, while effective, remains inaccessible to many due to cost and stigma. Probiotics, if validated, could offer a low-cost, scalable adjunct or alternative. However, integration into clinical practice requires robust guidelines. Current recommendations from the International Scientific Association for Probiotics and Prebiotics, ISAP, advise clinicians to consider probiotics for gut-brain conditions only when strain-specific evidence exists, such as L-rhamnosus GG for IBS-related anxiety. Pediatric applications are also being explored. A 2023 pilot study in pediatric research found that infants given B. infantis supplements had lower cortisol reactivity and fewer anxious behaviors at 12 months, suggesting early life microbiome interventions might confer lasting mental health benefits. Nevertheless, ethical questions persist, particularly regarding the commercialization of probiotics for vulnerable populations. Aggressive marketing to parents of children with autism or anxiety risks exploiting hopes without conclusive evidence, a concern amplified by the supplement industry's history of unsubstantiated claims. Looking ahead, the field must address critical knowledge gaps to translate hype into therapeutic reality. Large-scale, longitudinal trials are needed to establish causal relationships between specific probiotics and anxiety reduction, controlling for confounding variables like diet, exercise, and pharmacotherapy. The gut-brain axis's complexity demands interdisciplinary collaboration, bridging gastroenterology, neuroscience, and computational biology. Investment in standardized protocols for probiotic manufacturing, storage, and administration is equally urgent, ensuring product consistency and reproducibility. Public education is another priority, Misconceptions about probiotics as natural and harmless must be countered with evidence-based messaging to prevent misuse. Concurrently, exploring novel psychobiotics, including next-generation genetically engineered strains and phage therapies targeting harmful bacteria, could unlock more potent and targeted interventions. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment "tube" below to let me know that you're still with me. In conclusion, the proposition that probiotics could alleviate anxiety by modulating the gut-brain axis represents a tantalizing convergence of microbiology and neuroscience. While preliminary evidence supports their potential, the path from bench to bedside is riddled with scientific, regulatory, and ethical challenges. Probiotics are not a panacea, nor should they replace established therapies for anxiety. Rather, they may serve as one piece of a holistic mental health strategy, integrated with dietary, lifestyle, and psychological interventions. As research unravels the microbiota's role in emotional health, the adage, "trust your gut," assumes new meaning, reminding us that the key to mental wellness may indeed lie within an ecosystem of microbes waiting to be understood, harnessed, and respected. The emerging science of the gut-brain axis offers more than just hope. It offers a roadmap to reclaiming mental wellness. While probiotics are not a magic cure, the evidence suggests they could be a powerful ally in your journey to manage anxiety, especially when combined with holistic strategies. Your mental health is worth prioritizing, and the power to make meaningful change begins now. Here's how to start. 1. Listen to your gut. If anxiety feels unrelenting, consider discussing probiotics with your healthcare provider. Ask about strains like Lactobacillus rhamnosus or Bifidobacterium longum, and pair them with a fiber-rich diet to fuel your microbiome. 2. Be a skeptical optimist. Not all probiotics are created equal. Research brands with third-party testing, and look for products backed by clinical trials for mental health. 3. Think holistically. Pair probiotic use with stress-reducing practices like mindfulness, sleep hygiene, or gentle exercise. Remember, gut health thrives on balance. 4. Join the conversation. Share your experiences or questions in the comments below. By talking openly about gut health and anxiety, we break the stigma and learn together. A final note of hope. Anxiety can feel isolating, but you are not alone, and your gut might hold clues to a calmer mind. As research evolves, stay curious. Follow new studies, advocate for personalized care, and remember, small, consistent steps can lead to profound shifts in how you feel. Your mental health journey is uniquely yours, but it doesn't have to be walked alone. Partner with your body, your care team, and a community committed to cutting through the hype. The future of mental wellness is being written in the gut, and you have the power to be part of that story. Take action today. Your gut and your mind will thank you. I'm curious to know, what's the one thing you've learned today that you're excited to put into practice? Please let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave your thoughts below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your support helps us continue bringing valuable content like this to you. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.